host to the Chicago Bulls. We pick up the action with the introduction of the starting lineups here on ESPN Classic.
At one forward, 6'7" from Central Arkansas, number 33, Scottie Pippen. At the other forward, 6'11" from Croatia, number 7, Toni Kukoc. At center, 7 feet from Vanderbilt, number 32, Will Perdue. At one guard, 6'2" from Iowa, number 10, B.J. Armstrong. At the other guard, 6'6" from North Carolina, number 45, Michael Jordan. The head coach, Phil Jackson, the Chicago Bulls. And now, Pacer people, let's get on your feet and make some noise! Everybody knows the loudest and proudest fans in the NBA are Indiana Pacer fans. Let's get ready! Number 32, Dale Davis. At the other forward, 6'10" from Alabama, number 9, Derek Lackey. At center, 7'4" from Marist, number 45, Rick Smith. At one guard, 6'3" from St. John's, number 13, Mark Jackson. And at the other guard, 6'7" from UCLA, number 31, Reggie Miller. Your Pacer head coach, Larry Brown, your Indiana Pacers.
Marv Albert was at the mic for the last game Michael Jordan played in the NBA prior to today, Game 6 of the Finals against Phoenix in June of 1993, as they capped the run of 3 consecutive championships, and Michael was named the Finals MVP for the 3rd consecutive year. So it's fitting that Marv is set to call it now as Michael returns and the Bulls get set to tip off against the Pacers here at Market Square Arena. Courtside we go to Marv Albert and Matt Lucas.
Thank you, Bob. Yes, that was 636 days ago, so 21 months after his last appearance in an NBA game. Only 5 months after his number 23 was raised to the rafters in Chicago, Michael Jordan has returned, and he's wearing number 45. And Matt, for you trivia buffs out there, the last member of the Chicago Bulls to wear number 45 back in the 92-93 season, a fellow by the name of Ed Nealy, who was a very popular member of the Chicago Bulls.
I remember Ed well, also with the Phoenix Suns. Marv, there's a lot of special moments in NBA basketball. Usually the opening game of the season, the playoffs, 7th game of the series, the finals. I don't know about you, but I got the goosebumps for this one. This is very special.
Interesting, and it is home team privilege how they did diffuse the introduction of Michael Jordan, making sure that the Pacers got their due. Very quick in ending the announcement, letting the crowd respond as they did, and then getting right to the Indiana Pacers. And Derek McKee of the Pacers controlling the opening tip. The officials, Dick Bavetta, Ken Mauer, and Ed F. Rush. Mark Jackson guarded by B.J. Armstrong. Michael Jordan on Reggie Miller here at the start. And Jordan comes up with the ball.
Michael Eberle actually was knocked loose by Will Perdue, but Michael's so quick right now. He looks lightning quick.
Well, he does have the fresh legs. Not in outstanding basketball condition, but in very fine physical condition. Here is Tony Kukoc dumping it off. Will Perdue pops it out. Michael Jordan looking for the shot. Not able to hit on his first attempt.
Shot clock was down to 4. That's when usually Scottie Pippen used to get the ball, and before that, that's when Jordan would get it under those kinds of conditions.
Jordan played by Jackson to the spin. Rebounded by Rick Smith. Well, Phil Jackson told us earlier he was concerned that the Bulls will be looking too much for Jordan. Reggie Miller not able to hit from downtown. Pippen trying to go back door, and the ball goes back to Indiana.
Well, on the post feed to Rick Smith, Perdue actually giving him too much ground here, but then the quick hands of Michael Jordan to come up with the loose one. Both shots that Michael had taken have looked smooth and nice, just haven't dropped yet.
Double team on Smith's got it out for Jackson. Rebounded by Dale Davis. And here is Smith. Well, the NBA Player of the Week this past week, Rick Smith, who has been on a tear, gives Indiana a 2-0 lead. Kukoc at the high post. Armstrong cutting to the corner. Led by Jackson and that double team. Here is Kukoc finding Pippen for 3. Get the idea that the Bulls are a little rattled here at the start as Miller is able to go all the way.
Well, there's no question the Bulls are tight right now, despite the fact they're running the very familiar triangle offense. Michael has played with 4 of those players out on the floor, but nothing is very smooth like this second.
Kukoc trying to get the step, rejected. Recovered by Kukoc and rebounded by Davis. 4-0 Pacers with 2.5 gone by. Smith could not handle the pass, and it will be Chicago ball.
Well, Larry Brown wants his wing players, Derek McKee and this man, Reggie Miller, to get out as quickly as possible to take some pressure off that half-court offense. The Pacers are a good rebounding team. They must take advantage of it by getting their fast breaks.
Well, the Bulls hold for their first 5. Reggie Miller guarding Michael Jordan. B.J. Armstrong. Shot clock at 5. Armstrong for Perdue. Make it 0-6 here at the start for Chicago. McKee saw the opening. Pass to Miller. And a foul is called. Reggie Miller will go to the line. Quarter comeback. That has been their problem. In particular in the 3rd quarter. Here's Pippen. Got the step. Equal count and the foul.
Interesting that time, Marv. The Bulls came down and spread their offense even further out to try to stretch that defense to get some driving scenes. Here, the quick give and go from Perdue to Scottie Pippen got a favorable whistle there on the continuation as the Bulls have been dying to get on the board.
Derek McKee was called on the foul, so Chicago with its first field goal. They missed their opening 6 shots. 6-2, Indiana. 3rd meeting of the season between these 2 clubs. They split the previous 2. Reggie Miller. And that is career 3-pointer number 999 for Reggie. 9-2, Indiana. Kukoc from deep. And back comes McKee. McKee McGee delivers to Al Davis. And a 3-second violation call.
Lane violation. Well, Reggie Miller open on this rotation because of the double team on Rick Smith's side. The little man, B.J. Armstrong, went down the double team and left the opening as Reggie needing one more.
Gone by, and the Pacers lead 9-2. Jordan now posting up. Jordan with the turnaround. Making 0 for 3 for Michael. Getting good shots, but not able to hit. And the Bulls are 1 for their first 9. Mark Jackson setting it against B.J. Armstrong. Defensively, Jordan remaining on Miller. Purdue jumping out, but could not hold on. It will be Indiana ball with 6 on the shot clock.
The Bulls coming out of the timeout and going to a post-up for Michael Jordan to see if they can't get him inside or get fouled. He's probably not going to get fouled on too many fadeaways. Michael, I have a feeling, is going to start taking the ball to the hoop.
Beautiful setup from Jackson. Mark Jackson for Dale Davis, and the Pacers lead 11-2. Here is Pippen. Coming up short. And hearing it.
Well, Phil Jackson's biggest fear at the beginning of this ballgame is that everybody would just be out of sync. There's just no way to recreate what Michael was able to do in 3.5 practices under game conditions.
And Dick Bavetta with the indication that Kukoc had touched it out of bounds. This, of course, the first time that Tony Kukoc has been on the same floor with Michael Jordan in league competition. Shot clock at 8. Miller from way downtown. Davis gets inside. So Chicago continues to have difficulties off the board. Davis 5 rebounds, 2 block shots, along with 4 points, and it's a 13-2 Indiana lead. 6:35 remaining in this opening quarter. Jordan fires. Rebound Smith. So Michael has missed his first 4.
And all of those shots are hitting the front rim, an indication that the legs are a little tired.
Reggie Miller going around Michael Jordan, but coming up short on the reverse, and a foul is called on the Pacers. It's on Smith, and that is his first.
And this is always a concern of Larry Brown with Rick Smith. He'll usually pick up a couple of ticky-tack ones early, similar to that for the little block. But it's nice to have Antonio Davis back and healthy and making major contributions.
Antonio Davis has had back problems, and he is about to check in. Dale Davis has had problems with a separated shoulder on 2 occasions. Fouls on Mark Jackson. This is Antonio Davis replacing Dale Davis. Antonio Davis's wife giving birth to boy and girl twins earlier this week. In fact, missed a game because of that. Here's Jordan. Smith and Purdue will jump it up.
Well, you could see that coming side out of bounds. This is the first time they've gone to a screen roll situation for Michael in the deep corner. Another opportunity for him to score, making a good hard move, but just out of sync and releasing the ball right now. And the other Bulls are not able to make up for it as they seem to be rooting and pulling for Michael rather than just playing their game.
Michael 0 for his first 5. Pippen off the hesitation dribble. Purdue. Shot clock at 6. Armstrong for 3. Yes. Armstrong knocks it down from downtown.
Well, Michael was inside with Mark Jackson on him, posting up. The Bulls were unable to get it in. Michael wheeled on him to try to get offensive rebounding position and took Jackson to the floor.
Jordan over looking for the steal on Smith. And knocked out of bounds by the Pacers. So the ball back to Chicago.
Rick Smith's making a move there as Michael ever alert to what the other team is trying to do. Smith did a very good job, however, of keeping Michael from stripping that ball.
Indiana with a 13-5 lead. Again, Jordan posting this time against Chicago. Here's Corey Blunt, second-year man out of University of Cincinnati. First-round draft pick last year, replacing Tony Kukoc.
Well, the ball's starting to get hurt on the Pacers' offensive boards. Needs a bigger player in there, Corey Blunt, hopefully to do a good job on the defensive boards for Chicago.
Backing his way and then throws it out. There is Pippen extended. Scottie Pippen with a strong move. Indiana with a 13-7 lead. It has been an incredible scene here in Indianapolis the last 24 hours. More than 200 additional media credentials were needed. As McKee, Eric McKee with his first field goal. Scalper prices outside Market Square. Courtside tickets said to be going for better than $1,000 a pop. In the nosebleed section, we're told in the area of $400 to $500 per ticket. Corey Blunt, rebounded by Rick Smits. Jackson. McKee. Drive the reverse. Hit the line by Miller. Beating Jackson. He changes his mind and a beautiful look from Derek McKee.
Again, Mark Jackson wide open. He has been playing so much better since the Davises have come back and made a big difference in the Pacer ball club. His game has picked up as well, especially in the assist to turnover area.
On the back tap taken by Purdue. Jordan Neal's shot. Defeat Scottie Pippen.
And Michael knows that he's about to come out. He sees Pete Myers waiting to check in as Phil Jackson gave Michael a good 8-minute run. I think he was a little upset at a defensive sequence between Michael and Pippen about a minute or so ago, but Michael was due to come out anyway.
Jackson has 5 assists in this opening quarter. Miller. Yes, the question is certainly stamina for Michael Jordan. Double team by Jackson and Smits. Foul is called on Jackson. 2:59 remaining in this first quarter. We'll be right back. Indiana by 11, 7.5 remaining in this first half. Rick Smits. The move on Will Purdue was checked in for Luke Longley. Michael Jordan using the screen met by Smits. Getting into Purdue. Pass broken up by Mitchell with 8 on the shot clock.
Michael realizing himself that he's pounding the ball a little bit too much right now, looking very hard to create some things and probably thinking too much out there right now. He's going to have a couple of things happen where he can just relax and play.
Miller has it knocked away. Good hands by McKee. 6 remaining on the 24th round. One of the call against Chicago. Scottie Pippen coming up short. 24 for the ball. Kerr and Jordan now in the backcourt with Purdue, Pippen, and Kukoc. Backcourt clip against the Pacers.
Nice job of Steve Kerr patiently waiting for the offense to develop with a little flash up by Will Purdue and a nice cut by Scottie Pippen. Pippen coming off, who has been aggressive, taking the ball to the basket. And this is how the Bulls will start to get more free throws. They are one of the teams in the league who shoots very few free throws, only 25 a game, making 18, which is really hard for their team right now to score, because that's that hidden way to score points and another way to enable them to get up and pressure defensively.
Foul on Smits is, and the Pacers now lead 33-24. Mark Jackson calling out the play. Miller off the screen, met by Jordan. Michael getting more aggressive defensively. Open shot for Mitchell. Indiana leads by 11. Jordan using the pick. Offensive foul is called as Will Purdue was on the move and setting
his way and took advantage of the departure of Bill Cartwright to become the starter here in Chicago.
Indiana by 13. And once again, with Michael Jordan on the floor, the Bulls have fallen back. A 10-3 run by the Pacers. Since Michael made his return. Here's Miller. And rebounded by Dale Davis. Miller again. Rebounded by Dale Davis. Jackson passing on the three. Dale Davis has 10 rebounds. 5 minutes remaining first half. And Mario Davis rejected by Will Purdue. Kept alive. McKee off the boards. Oh, you know that's driving Chicago's coaching staff crazy. You cannot get that many opportunities. The Bulls rebounding cards continue. Purdue. And rebounded by, yes, Dale Davis.
And they are absolutely and thoroughly dominating both backboards.
Jordan got picked off. Miller fires. 18-point Indiana lead after Chicago wants to talk it over.
Well, long jump shots mean long rebounds, and both Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen have been flying at people, but that leaves openings in the seams to pick off those long rebounds. And the ones in tight, the Indiana Pacers are just out hustling and overpowering the Chicago Bulls inside right now. As Reggie Miller now coming off that screen, clearing himself from the pick, squaring up, eyeing the hoop, and draining one more three-point shot. 7'4". When he puts the ball over his head, he doesn't expect anybody to steal, but it's a fundamental error by Smith as he put it behind his head. The lightning quick hands of Michael Jordan to strip it and finish the play off at the other end. Reggie Miller thought about stepping up and trying to take the charge. It looked like Michael was ready to jump over him if he had it. As we said starting this third quarter, Marv, that Michael realizes things are just not very smooth at the offensive end in their half-court sets, so they got to make it happen at the defensive end.
12-point Indiana lead. Let's go over to Ahmad Rashad.
All right, Marv, thanks. I talked to Michael at halftime, and he was telling me that he indeed had butterflies when the game started, but he was trying to adjust himself to the pace of the game. That's pretty much took him out of it physically. He also said the offense was out of sync because you have to realize he hadn't played with these players quite in a long time. He was trying to familiarize himself with the players on the floor. Marv?
All right, Ahmad, and that is a goaltending call, so Jordan gets credit, and he has hit double figures. 11 points for Michael. He is now 4 for 13 from the field. Pacers 56, and the Bulls 46. Jackson and Miller in the backcourt. McKee, Smits, and Dale Davis up front. Shot clock is down to 6. Jackson gets it inside to McKee, and a foul call. Only 1 for 5 from the field. Has not played in this third quarter. Corey Blunt starting the third. Here's Will Purdue. It will count. 19 for Reggie. Pacers 60, and the Bulls 49. Huntington setting the pick. Jordan sweeping by, but went off the back rim. Recovered by Dale Davis as Rick Smits hit the deck. Jackson. Well, the Pacers responding to the double team as Mark Jackson was wide open. Jackson with the steal. Jackson behind the back, and he will start it all over again.
Good job by the point guard, Mark Jackson, exploring the fast break, not there. The knowledgeable Indiana fans appreciating that kind of small nuance in half-court basketball. Fast break, not there. Pull it back out. Set something else.
Got clock down to 3. McKee. Indiana with a 15-point lead. Derek McKee with 14 points. Holding foul on Smith. And that is number 4 on Ray Smits, who is foul prone. He will sit down. Antonio Davis will come on. Smits departing. And 10 points and 7 rebounds.
The Bulls have been tentative with some of their passes as Michael will go to the bench for a rest, replaced by Pete Myers, and Tony Kukoc coming in for Will Perdue. And right before that, the Bulls have brought in Bill Wennington to replace Corey Blunt, to put him in that big forward spot, as Phil is trying to keep a couple of extra big bodies in there against the outstanding rebounding of the Indiana Pacers.
And Indiana's come out shooting well in the third quarter, 6 of 7 from the field. Bulls have hit 5 of 10. Really has nowhere to go. Down to 6 on the 24. Pippen looking for the shot, can't find it. Kukoc has to fire and hits. Tony Kukoc with a 3 with the shot clock running down. It's only his second field goal. It cuts it to a 12-point Pacer lead. Just under 5 minutes to go. Third quarter. Call away from the ball. Pete Myers holding. Signing on with Indiana. Michael Jordan now returning. So Michael certainly getting the playing time. Opened up with 9 minutes in the first quarter. 9 minutes in the first quarter. Saw considerable action in the second. 19 minutes in all for the half. 28 minutes thus far for Jordan. Beginning to show some signs. Doing it off the dribble here against Michael Scott. Faced the double team. Got it out to Myers. Pete Myers. Pacers 69. The Bulls 58.
It actually turned into a little bit of a triple team, which really opened up the lane for Myers, who made a nice move going to his left.
Now Jordan defensively facing Fleming. Fleming and Scott now in the backcourt. Last touch by Pippen with 11 on the 24. And a timeout being called by Larry Brown. 2:35 remaining in the third. You're watching the NBA on of Michael Jordan. Another look back at the Jordan years. That emotional first championship in 91. 1992, the Bulls knocking off Portland in Chicago for a second title, and then a third straight, defeating Charles Barkley and the Phoenix Suns in 6 games. That 1993 NBA championship squad. A host of familiar names and a host of changes have been made. As you can see, that group no longer with the Bulls. Only Armstrong, Pippen, and Perdue remain, along with Michael Jordan. Revamped franchise. When you look back at last year, it was truly amazing the job that Phil Jackson and the Bulls did. That's a 24-second violation. Chicago finishing a surprising 55-27, second in the Central. Only 2 games back in that first season without Michael Jordan. They were 3rd overall in the East, and then in the playoffs they swept Cleveland. And the Eastern Conference semifinals lost in a grueling series to the Knicks in 7 games. Kukoc trying to shake off Mitchell. Draws the foul. Sam Mitchell picking up his second personal. And Indiana last year with a 47-35 record. Jordan firing the 3. And a loose ball foul is called again against Mitchell.
Well, once Michael gets familiar with the new three-point line, I'm sure he's going to be a much better three-point shooter. If you remember a couple years in their career, he worked hard in the offseason, came back, improved his three-point shooting, but he is still suffering from the rust, and the shooting is suffering the most right now.
Jordan is now 4 for 15. Myers posting up on Fleming. Kukoc with the fake. Shot clock at 8. Jordan for Kukoc. Yes! Michael Jordan with the feed for Tony Kukoc to bring the Bulls within 9. A minute 35 left in the third quarter. Kukoc on the steal. Try to save it. Lands in the Chicago front court, but handled by Fleming.
Well, Michael was zigging when he probably should have been zagging, but that pass thrown behind him to spoil a chance for a Chicago fast break and a thunderous Jordan finish.
Fleming has been coming out as a third guard, very much into the rotation. Here's Jordan spinning his way, getting it up for Pippen, and he draws the foul.
Well, the last 2 times Michael Jordan has had the ball in the offensive end, he has become a penetrator. He is, in fact, the point guard right now. Being guarded by Byron Scott, beats him on the penetration, finds Tony Kukoc coming in along the baseline. Excellent penetration, drawing the defense, and Michael knows that he is drawing it and can find open people as Scottie Pippen able to get to the free throw line.
Bob Rashad, Bob Costas, Michael Jordan to this point. 4 of 15, 11 points, 3 assists.
Chicago in a 2-for-1 situation with 40 seconds to go in this third quarter. Look for a quick shot coming.
Kukoc spinning his way. And back comes McKee. Now 25 seconds to go in the third.
Well, they got the quick shot, but not a good one.
Off the trap foul call. Pippen and Myers finding out Scott, and Pippen is called for the foul, his second. Bulls are over the limit, so Byron Scott to the line. And Haywood is back. Haywood Workman, a major surprise last year after spending time with Atlanta and Washington. He's able to do the job without having true point guard skills. Very tough player. And a good player defensively, and that's what Larry Brown appreciated last year. But Mark Jackson is back as the starting point guard. They double up on Jordan. Time running out. Here in the third. Jordan played by Fleming. Down to 5 seconds. Now they double up. Here's Jordan slicing his way, setting up Wellington. 1 8 10 seconds to go in the third as Workman. And that's the end of the third quarter. The Pacers 73 and the Bulls 63.
Byron Scott not wanting to let Vern Fleming face Jordan. 1-on-1 comes out, but overruns the play, leaving another wide open lane for Michael to get in there, draw the defense, and get the easy one for Bill Wennington.
So Michael Jordan setting up Bill Wennington to conclude matters. Pacers 73 and the Bulls 63. It's some 21 months after Michael Jordan's last appearance in an NBA game. Michael opening up this fourth quarter guarding Vern Fleming. Antonio Davis. And last touch by the Bulls. But meanwhile, despite the fact that this has not been an effective game for the Bulls, they are hanging around, down by only 10 as this fourth quarter gets started.
Mainly because their defense was much more aggressive in the third quarter. They shot the ball better, but the reason why they're still down 10 is the 6 turnovers that they had in the third quarter.
And whistle away from the ball is against Indiana. Byron Scott called for the offensive foul. At one point, Indiana led by as many as 18. Pacers with a good shooting third quarter, 8 for 10 overall in the third.
Michael there setting up Steve Kerr coming off a stagger, but good defense by the Pacers shut it off, and a nice move inside by big Luke Longley.
8-point Indiana lead. Reggie Miller getting set to check back in. Fleming and Scott on the backcourt. Smits playing with 4 fouls up front with McKee and Antonio Davis. Not a good shot by Smits. Here's Jordan putting the move on.
And Michael looking over to the official on the baseline, trying to figure out why he didn't get a foul call there. He initiated the contact into Smits.
Smits. To a 10-point Pacer lead.
He is just so comfortable facing the basket from about 15 to 18 feet out front, and really prefers that left box where he reels across the middle for a little rolling hook.
Lead intended for Curran. Fleming for Davis. Smits off the ball fake, and a hand check being indicated by Dick Bavetta.
Well, Michael Jordan with spots a little lane here, knows he's in trouble with the 7'4" Smits, but shoved that right hip into Smits, looking for the call, not really complaining loudly, but you could tell he felt he got bumped on this play. One more look at it as Michael just shoved the little hip into Smits, which did follow the shot.
And at the other end, Longley is called for the foul. Reggie Miller is back, replacing Derek McKee. Solid game for McKee, 14 points.
Well, he does so many good things on the basketball floor that you don't notice. It's all the little things, and of course Larry would like to become more and more aggressive offensively.
Byron Scott running into Luke Longley. That is number 4 on Longley. On Friday night in the game against Milwaukee, in a rare occurrence because the Bulls have not been a successful comeback team, they did overcome a 15-point deficit after 3 quarters to beat the Bucks. That is a rare comeback. The Bulls have suffered this season with very poor third quarter. And that has gotten Phil Jackson crazy. Remember, several weeks ago, he closed the locker room after a game on a Friday night. Had a long meeting with his coaches the following day, trying to solve the problem. Well, he may be on the way to solving that problem with number 45. Number 45 rejoining his club.
That's a nice player to add late in the season.
Off the steal, Fleming. Jordan got a piece of it. Fleming ran into his own man. Here's Scott. Not a pretty sequence, but Byron Scott gives the Pacers a 14-point goal.
Fumbling, stumbling, Vern did a good job, Vern Fleming, of finally corralling that thing and getting it to the open man.
Pippen backing his way. With the shot clock running down. Rebounded by Jordan, who takes it up. And he's fouled. Michael Jordan will go to the line.
Well, Vern Fleming never really getting a handle on this thing, trying to run the fast break. On the crossover there, bothered by Kerr. He lost it. He got bumped by his own man, Smits. But Byron Scott in the right place at the right time to finish it off with a jumper.
Antonio Davis called for the foul. 7 first-team All-NBA mentions, 6 All-Defensive Team awards.
Well, the Bulls hanging around in this one have been down 10-12. They know they have to get it around 10 or 8 under 6 minutes. Again, trying to make something happen with that defense after the free throw, but not having a player like Horace Grant who really sets the tone with that pressure in the backcourt, really hurting the Bulls.
Byron Scott. 3 of 5, 12 points for Scott. Indiana leading 81-67. Jordan working off the pick. Rebound, Jordan. Try to alter the shot with Smits right there. Here's a 3-on-1. Miller pulls out for 3.
Reggie going for the kill there right now, leading by 14, trying to put this thing away, or at least at this particular juncture with that pull-up jumper on the fast break from beyond the arc.
Kukoc passed the open shot, and then a bad pass. Miller on the run. Delivers to Fleming.
And you can get it in twos as well. Normally Reggie Miller on the catching end of those kind of plays shows that he is unselfish, wants to get his teammates involved most of the time.
Indiana by 16 points. Kerr for 3. Kerr with the straightaway three-pointer. That is his first of the day, and the Pacers lead 83-70.
And Michael Jordan walking back on defense, looking over to Phil Jackson, pointing to himself, needing a breather at this particular juncture.
He has played 33 minutes. 7.5 to go in the quarter. Here's Scott. Offensive foul.
Dick Bavetta, the official, saying that Byron Scott on that penetration took the left arm and warded off the defender. Byron not happy with it, but I think an accurate call by Dick Bavetta. Number 5 on Scott, and that'll bring Derek McKee back into the ballgame as Michael Jordan will get a rest.
Continues the discussion as he moves to the defensive end. Corey Blunt, Scottie Pippen, met by the double team. Good defense by the Pacers. Myers rejected by Dale Davis. Longley with the save, but it's a 24-second violation. Losing streak. Utah losing on the road, which is unusual. They're now 23-11 on the road. They still lead the Midwest. Now by 2 games in front of San Antonio. Shot clock is down to 2 as McKee comes up short. And it is a 24-second violation. The stat line on Michael Jordan, who has just checked back in. He has played 33 minutes. He missed his first 6 shots and then was able to connect 4 of 18 overall for 13 points. 5 of 6 from the line, 4 assists, 3 rebounds. Certainly in a process of adjustment. Looking a bit rusty. On the other hand, we have seen some terrific flashes. Michael now 4 for 19. It will get better for Michael and the Bulls.
Well, the defense of the second half of the Chicago Bulls much better. In fact, the Indiana Pacers have no second chance points. So the move of starting Corey Blunt, playing Bill Wennington a little at the big forward spot has worked for Chicago, at least defensively, here in the second half.
A show the ball move by Jordan. Now guarded by McKee. Longley off the nice entry pass from Jordan.
Terrific, and Michael appreciated that move by Longley to keep moving and then stop dead in the lane with the defender on his back. That's why he got such good position.
Pacers 86 and the Bulls 77. McKee went underneath the hoop. Armstrong has a 3-on-2. Pacers able to hustle back. Pippen. Scottie Pippen driving the lane. And it's down to a 7-point Pacer lead.
Hanging around, just hanging around, and that's dangerous when you have number 45 on the floor.
6-0 run by Chicago. Miller, yes! There's a 2-pointer. The quick release of Reggie Miller extends to an 88-79 Indiana lead. 26 points for Miller. Throwing glass. Indiana 88, Chicago 81. 15 from Michael Jordan.
The Pacers right now really don't have an inside-outside game. You could throw it into McKee and possibly get a double team, but that's why it's been hard for Reggie Miller to get a lot of shots up this year.
Miller gets up another one. Pippen with the rebound. 7-point deficit. Chicago in possession. Jordan gets it to Pippen. Here's Corey Blunt, and he drew the foul.
Reggie Miller has to depend on baseline screens like that to get open shots. He also has to get kickouts from penetration. But Michael Jordan, hard drive over the dribble to take it to the open spot, get in the air quickly, and nicely using glass.
Non-shooting foul on Antonio Davis, who departs, replaced by Dale Davis. 3:05 remaining in the fourth quarter. 7-point Indiana lead. They've led by as many as 18. Pippen for 3. Rebound block. Armstrong backs to 3-point territory, and he hit it. The lead is down to 5. Jackson calls for time with 2:44 remaining in the fourth quarter. Posting on Miller. No help at this point. Jordan not able to hit, and it's rebounded by Dale Davis. Number 18 off the boards for Davis. McKee with the board. A clutch shot by Derek McKee. He now has 16 with 2:03 left in the fourth. The Pacers lead 90-83. three, and the Bulls take a time.
From the field, or we should say very rusty, at just 5 for 21. Not taking advantage of a possible hand check here. Settles for a jump shot, and then the Indiana Pacers will turn it into a wide-open jumper on the break for Derek McKee, as once again Mark Jackson finds the open man.
Well, let's see, Matt. Wearing number 45, Michael Jordan, 5 for 21, only a 24% shooter. Looking back at his career, wearing number 23 was a 52% shooter.
You think they'll stop making all those shirts now?
Yes. No.
I didn't think so.
Timeout rundown. Chicago 3 and a 20. Indiana 2 and a 20. The Bulls in possession. Just under 2 minutes. Remaining in the fourth. Jordan swinging for the jumper. Rebound Longley. Puts it on the floor and drew the foul.
You know, when Michael looks at the tape of this, he's going to see that a lot of the moves were there, a lot of the quickness, the good and sharp ball handling. Just a lot of shots early in this ball game did not fall, which I think started to make him think. Here's a typical Michael Jordan move. Good defense by Reggie Miller to turn him away. Michael hanging in the air. Just cannot get these shots to drop.
Luke Longley missing on his first free throw. Luke, an 82% free throw shooter. Bulls 16 of 24 at the line. Pacers 90 and the Bulls 84. Talking to Chicago players. Jordan with the steal. Michael Jordan going. Oh, he dumped it off the block and it drew the foul. Looked like he would challenge Smits. As you say, the moves are there. He's getting the open looks. But in talking to the coaches and various Chicago players, they say that the jump shot was not there in practice. At least Michael Jordan type jump shots.
Well, that steal came off the Bulls track there, and it looked like the Pacers had it beaten easily, and then just put, and it really was not that bad a pass. Yes, it was a cross-court pass, but Michael's so quick into the passing lane. Most teams, in particular the Pacers today, not used to seeing players so quick on that pass. So it's so hard to practice against it. Not that the Pacers have any chance to prepare.
What a 52% free throw shooter, hitting 1 of 2. It's a 5-point lead. Pressure by Chicago. A minute 35 remaining in the fourth. Indiana's led by as many as 18. Armstrong with a steal. Feeding Pippen. Scottie Pippen cuts it to a 3-point lead. And you can hear the Chicago contingent applauding the efforts of the Bulls. It's down to 3 with a minute and 15 remaining in the fourth. And it's tip home. Reggie Miller with 28, and he gives Indiana a 5-point lead.
Well, the Bulls have been so successful with the pressure defense, and then down by 3, they gambled one too many times, but that's the first 2 points off the glass.
Under a minute remaining. Fourth quarter. Pippen. Yes. That's a 2-pointer for Scottie Pippen. Pacers 92. The Bulls 89. We are down to 45 seconds in the fourth quarter. Jordan looking for the steal on Smits. 10 on the shot clock. Jackson. Played by Armstrong. Shot clock at 5. McKee forced it. Handled by Blunt. And the ball in the hands of Jordan. 25 seconds remaining. The pick set by Longley. There's Pippen for Pippen. Yes! The Bulls have come from 18 down. And the game is tied at 92. 19 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Larry Brown waving off the timeout. They're just going to play it out. Down to 10. Jackson, guarded by Armstrong. Down to 5. Sets up Miller. And a foul on Jordan. Michael did not want to make the contact. Both Jordan and Miller are shaken up. The Bulls have that foul to give, so Miller will not go to the line. 3 seconds remaining in this fourth quarter. And both Michael Jordan and Reggie Miller are obviously hurting.
Well, Reggie Miller popped off that screen wide open, and Michael Jordan running at him, and then Reggie in trying to elude Jordan taking it to the baseline, and they got tangled up. And right away, Michael put up his arm. I don't know, so not so much say that he committed the foul. Let's watch again. As Michael trying to keep contact, and Reggie eludes that contact, and you see running at him, and now watch the leg. Reggie's right, and Michael Jordan's right, and both of them in a lot of discomfort right now.
A bizarre conclusion with the Chicago Bulls coming from behind on a 25-9 run. And the two marquee players, Michael Jordan, Reggie Miller, end up on the floor. We'll be right back. With a surge in this fourth quarter have tied the game at 92. That's the timeout rundown. Bulls 3 full timeouts plus a 20. The Pacers 1 plus the 20.
And the Bulls have a delay of game to try to find out what the play was. They found out a little bit about where Mark Jackson was going. Of course, the #1 option here would be Byron Scott, their best perimeter shooter.
And now a 20-second timeout for Jackson. Back to McHugh for the shot. And we go to overtime. Byron Scott facing a double team. Smith working against Longley. Shot clock at 10. Smith. Rebound to a soaring Jordan. George now guarded by Scott. Longley, Blunt, Pippen up front. Armstrong, Jordan in the backcourt. Jordan gets inside, trying to get it to Longley. Shot clock at 3. Jordan has to pump it. 1 minute gone by in overtime. Neither team has scored. The game tied at 92. Dale Davis for Mark Jackson. Shot clock at 6. Jackson on the foul.
Will get credit for it. I think Corey Blunt got a piece of it as well for one of the rare second shot opportunities for the Pacers in this second half in overtime.
Blunt keeping it alive, getting a new 24. For the Bulls, this is their 6th overtime game. Nice backdoor pass to Blunt, rejected by Dale Davis. That's his 4th block.
Oh, what a tough inside defender. Beautiful bounce pass from Luke Longley, and Corey Blunt not able to take it to the rim strong enough, and that enabled Dale Davis to get back in there and swat it out. However, the Bulls do recapture the ball.
Michael Jordan, yes. And the game is tied at 94. 17 for Jordan. Chicago 1-4 in overtime games this season. Pacers have won 2. They've lost 1. Scott with the answer. Comes right back at Jordan. And the Pacers lead 96-94. Just under 3 minutes to go in overtime.
Well, the Bulls had a lot of success coming down the stretch with just spreading the floor and creating that kind of penetration.
Jordan. Davis ripping it down. Rebound number 19 for Davis. Scott trying to get it to Smith.
Oh, Michael Jordan popping out wide open for the jump shot, and now starting to feel it with the familiar tongue starting to get out there.
And the matchup, Jordan against Scott. Waves Longley over. Goes to the crossover. Changes his mind. Did not force it. Pippen. Air ball. Knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Smith. Chicago maintains possession with 4 on. Chicago maintains possession with 4 on the 24.
It's so typical of the Chicago offense. When they try to run something set, they invariably wear down the shot clock and wind up having to take tough shots like that.
Back to the Indiana.
You were saying just earlier, something about Willis Reed. Well, like Willis Reed in that game where he came out. Reggie Miller has just come out, talked to the trainer, and said that he wants to go back into the game. They're discussing it right now. As you can see, he has taken the ice off of his leg and has told the trainer he's prepared to go back and play. Mark?
On reporting on our conversations during commercial breaks now, I see.
Mark, that's one of those kinds of injuries where it's going to be very, very sore later tonight and tomorrow, but putting ice on it quickly and the rest of your body still relatively warm, that it's possible that he could go in there for a last-second type shot at the end of the overtime period.
On the shot clock as we resume. And we get the whistle. Fairly delay of game warning. Charge on Indiana. Derek McKee not giving the proper room to Scottie Pippen on the inbound.
And now they're going to put 10 seconds on the shot clock instead of the 4. It's a big break for the Chicago Bulls in this situation.
All being explained, Larry Brown begrudgingly accepting that there are now 10 seconds remaining on the 24. Shot clock down to 6. Jordan lost the grip. Pippen on the recovery. And the ball goes to Indiana.
Oh, Michael's just disgusted with himself right now in that situation, trying to get into the lane and just mishandling the ball. And that's going to happen for a while. All these little things that rarely happen to Michael Jordan are happening for him today.
Indiana with the ball. They lead by 2. Jackson behind the back for Spence. Smith, he had it deflected. Kept alive by Dale Davis. He's rejected. And a foul against Chicago. Foul committed by Corey Blunt. Checking back in. Replacing Corey Blunt, Phil Jackson looking for the offense. So Blunt sits down, and Chicago with a combination now of Kerr, Armstrong, Jordan, Pippen, and Longley.
And with both B.J. Armstrong and Steve Kerr out on the floor, spreading it, getting it out on the wings, beyond that three-point line, gives more room for Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan to operate by getting into the lane and creating something.
Brown countering by bringing on Hayward Workman, and Rick Smith sits down. Davis connecting on 1 of 2. Indiana leads 97-94. A minute 45 remaining in overtime. They isolate Jordan on Scott. Yes. Michael Jordan comes up hobbling. Cuts it down to 1. A minute 32 remaining in overtime. Scott knocked away by Michael Jordan.
Now both coaches going offense, defense. Rick Smits is back into the ball game right now, as is Corey Blunt, replacing Steve Kerr.
Indiana 2 of 6 to the field in overtime. Here comes Reggie Miller. So Reggie Miller, who appeared to be through for the rest of the game, is limping his way back out of the court. Shot clock at 8. Jackson providing the patience with a 3-point lead.
A big gamble there by B.J. Armstrong. Really wasn't necessary. Took himself out of the play and left Mark Jackson wide open and played a solid game.
Yes, 10 points and 10 assists for Jackson. And a foul is called. Hand-checking call on Jackson.
First
the Pacers there.
2 minutes on the Pacers.
Their 4th team foul. The next foul for either club would put them over the limit.
And Larry Brown wanted that foul to be committed. No free throws involved to get Reggie Miller out of the ballgame right now. He is just hobbling, unable to move at all at either end of the floor.
It's one out of the pages of Mike Reardon. The early 70s giving the foul as instructed by Larry Brown. Here's Jordan. Lost it and then regained. Blunt with the driving hook. Rebound McKee. Indiana by 3. 40 seconds left in overtime. Scott mid-contact with Larkin. Yes, and it counts.
What a terrific play by Byron Scott, knowing his team needed a pick-me-up with Reggie Miller out of there. Just gave a little glance coming off that screen. Able to get inside Michael Jordan. Earlier, he got called for waving off with the left arm on a play like that. This time, he did initiate the contact, bumping into Luke Longley, but able to maintain some kind of composure and balance, not real good balance, to get that shot up and in.
It has been an outstanding performance by the 33-year-old, soon to be 34, Byron Scott, who will go to the line. He's 5 of 6 at the line, 84% free throw shooter. Larry Brown of the Pacers reacting to the move by the veteran Byron Scott, who has 16 points.
Well, the low post game of Rick Smits has been very quiet all afternoon, and the Pacers, tell you what a good basketball team are. They have other ways to do it. They've done it a lot on the perimeter, although maybe a little bit too much, but they also have some people that can get into the lane and make something happen.
Indiana by 5, 29 seconds to go in overtime.
Cramp earlier, then a little bit of a leg injury here. He has been the most resilient athlete, however, that I have ever seen. He'll be sore tomorrow, but he can bounce back.
We apologize for the brief technical difficulty experienced. So all is back in working order. Jordan goes off the mark. Pippen trying to keep it alive, and he did. Although Larry Brown is upset with the call. Last touch by the Pacers. It will be Chicago ball with 20 and 2/10 seconds to go.
Well, it wasn't that Larry didn't have a good look at it. It was right in front of his nose as McKee and Pippen went for it, and it did appear that Scotty was the man that knocked it out.
Shots for Jordan. That is number 28. Rejected by Davis. Block number 5 for Dale Davis. Final seconds, and the foul is given with 7 and 7/10 seconds to go. And the Pacers hearing it from this capacity crowd.
Well, a lot of heroes today for the Indiana Pacers. There's one of them, but none more than Dale Davis, who did it on the boards and did it with block shots. And as I said earlier in the game, Mark, he is not even 100% and probably doesn't figure to be the rest of the year because of those shoulder problems that could go out at any time. But if he can play like that the rest of this regular season and into the playoffs, the Pacers will be in excellent shape.
Vern Fleming, a 70% free throw shooter on the line. Dale Davis, 20 rebounds, 5 block shots. 103-96, Indiana. Trying to adjust to the return of Michael Jordan. Indiana Pacers looking to play off, use it as for motivational purposes, and they certainly did, led by as many as 18. Chicago with a great burst in the fourth quarter, coming back, sent the game into overtime off the scoring of Scottie Pippen in the fourth quarter. Pippen coming up short, time running down, 3 seconds to go. It will be Indiana ball. Pippen with 31 to lead Chicago. Miller with 28 in a gallant effort for the Pacers, who have won it in overtime. 103-96. Chicago shooting only 2 of 13 from the field in the overtime session. And Indiana with a record of 40-24. Now let's go to Ahmad Rashad with Michael Jordan. Ahmad?
All right, Michael, you got one under your belt. How does it feel?
Well, as you see, my timing was a little bit off today. I mean, I was just trying to get my rhythm back, and I don't know if it was a good game for me to come back. Reggie seemed very energized, and you know, so it's my first game back, and you know, I know it's not going to happen in one game. It's going to take a little bit till I get my timing back, but hey, I'm back. That's all that matters.
Does it concern you, though, with the playoffs so close, that you will get your timing back in time?
Perfect timing. I'm not worried about that. I think, you know, a couple games I should have my timing back, but this is not a playoff game, and it's not, I know we want to win, but for me, I mean, I really got to take my time and try to work my way back in.
Let's clear up a few things that have come up. They're talking about you. When you coming back, you had some assurances that Scottie Pippen was going to be here and B.J. Armstrong. Is that any truth to that?
I'm only back for the love of the game. I'm not back here for extra money. I'm not back here, I was hoping and I'm still hoping that Scottie Pippen and B.J. and Phil, all those guys would be back. And, so it's not my place to make those decisions. But, quite simply, I hope everything works out, for all three of those guys. But, I'm back for the love of the game.
And what about the fact that you had something that you didn't have to go to practice, some kind of clause that you wouldn't practice?
No, I love practice. I need to practice. I cannot skip practice. I need it. Today really showed me I need to get back into practice.
Last question, Michael. You left at your peak. If you don't come back and lead this team to a championship, do you worry that this might have something mess up your mystique a bit?
No, I'm not worried about that. I mean, you're not expected to win every time, but I'm back here to try to help my team win, and we certainly got a good opportunity.
Well, it was great to have you back. We'll see you next week.
I hope so.
All right. Thanks, Michael. Back to you, Marv.
All right, about so Michael Jordan makes his return here at Market Square Arena in Indianapolis. And Michael very candid about the work that he sees ahead of him off the 7 of 28 performance from the field. Michael finishing with 19 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, and 3 steals. And he plays 43 minutes in all. Once again, final score in overtime, Indiana 103 and Chicago 96.